All right, welcome everyone to my 50th live art stream. My name is Eben, if you are not familiar with me and my artwork. If you are, welcome back. I'm seeing some new people in here from Instagram and maybe from some other places, so welcome. And as usual, I think everything should be good with the stream settings, but if you have any issues as far as the quality or anything, do leave a comment in the chat. Today is kind of fun because it's my 50th stream, which is cool. I've been doing this for the past 2 or 3 years, a little less frequently recently, but I do enjoy doing this and doing some live art for you guys. And so today we're kind of I'm taking requests for ideas, and we're going to randomly select one of them with this cool wheel, which we've used a couple times before during the stream. We have a lot of cool ideas already here that I've pulled from people voting on Instagram, from comments on the YouTube video, to a couple other email lists, people replying to that. So we have some really interesting ideas so far, and if you have one that you'd like to get in here before we begin, feel free to leave that in the chat there. I'm just gonna take a quick look here and make sure I didn't miss anything. But meanwhile, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and leave your request. Say hi. Maybe tell us where you came from or what you want to see here. Yeah, we'll get going in just a minute. We're gonna spin the wheel of names, which is always kind of fun. And yeah, let's go through what we have here, because we have some very interesting ideas so far. I'm seeing a lot of like kind of, I think the people that are making requests are starting to understand my style at this point. There's a lot of like sci-fi and fantasy theme stuff happening here. We have Space Knight, which is a great, very succinct idea. We have Dune Looking City, or Arakeen, which is awesome. I just read that book again, and I saw the movie a few months ago. Some really awesome artwork in there. World War II mech machine versus soldiers, mountains, which can be very fun. We could do like a peaceful sort of mountain study. Colliding army scene. I know Jurgen wrote that one down because he's always asking me to do like the army stuff, which is definitely a challenge. Very fun. Usually a bit of photo bashing involved there. Yeah, we got some good ideas here, so I'm just gonna give it last call here if anyone wants to add something to the list, and then we are going to spin the wheel. Welcome Nina, welcome Brian, good to see you. Welcome Sabrina. We got a lot of people from the Discord channel in here. If you haven't checked that out yet, you should join. The link is in the description below the video. It's just a cool, small little community of people that are, artists, and there's some writers in there, and just like people that are sort of creatively sharing their work and discussing, being an artist, and like, talking about some freelance stuff and sharing work and getting feedback on work. It's just a great place to kind of exchange ideas and share your work. And I have a lot of students in there from my mentorship program, and you can check that out in the link below as well. I've been taking on some more students recently, and yeah, that's pretty much it for my plugs today. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please, as well, if you haven't yet, because I do. Even though this may be sort of the last live thing I do for a little while, I do release videos as often as I can. Anything from just like time-lapse videos of artwork that I've created to lessons for sort of little mini lessons for people. I had a request to do one on the dragon head I sculpted in Blender recently. So we'll probably make a video on that. Sabrina is asking, I want to do the wheel thing myself. What's its name? The name is, here's the link. It's wheelofnames.com. This was the first thing that came up with the Google search of like random name selector. And it's just fun, you know? So yeah, let's go ahead and spin this thing. Let's see what happens. All right. Boy, this is exciting. Here we go. Oh, nice. All right, all right. That's cool. I think that was Sabrina's request. Um, that's really fun. I was actually kind of hoping it was that one. So, great choice. Um, cool. Let's get into this. Man, this is gonna be uh, an ambitious project for a. I usually do, you know, like a 2 hour stream here. We might go a little over today, depending upon how much how much stamina I have here. This is always a fun test for me to see, I don't know, how efficiently I can work, I guess. You know, because and I don't know. I encourage you guys to try this yourselves if you want, even if you just have a few people that that you can share this with or something, or just like creating art in a live setting can be a really interesting way to go about it. Actually, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of quickly walk you through my process a bit here, because if I were doing this for a, you know, a project or something, the first thing I'm gonna be doing is finding some references. So let's just grab some art references first. See what, like, you know, get familiar with the genre here. And I'm gonna bring up Pure Ref, which is the it's a reference program I use for just about anything. So I'm just gonna kind of grab some stuff. Those are ads. Maybe let's try steampunk illustration or something. These are interesting. Yeah, it's like Abraham Lincoln or something. These are great. Yeah, steampunk is really cool. I never really do much within this. Oh, that's kind of cool. Within this genre so much. And so it's I appreciate the request, because I like, you know, it's always good to be kind of pushed a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So I mean, you know, generally a feature of this genre is kind of like it's like technology that's driven by kind of I don't know, I guess you would call it sort of like early 19th century or 20th century machinery kind of stuff. So a lot of gears and like bronze stuff. That's kind of interesting. So I'm looking for, you know, art references. I'm looking for character references, just like anything that I feel is kind of interesting and inspiring here. Welcome, Ernesto. Good to see you. Got the whole, most of the people from the group mentorship I did a while back popping in here. And that's actually something I want to do again soon. Let's do the sort of the small group. I think I was doing a 4-week course. We went through sort of some different, we did some character work, we did some environment stuff, sort of how to go about doing a study, that kind of thing. Oh, this is nice. I mean, I don't know. Let's see here. All right. And what else do we want? I think let's, there's a great website. I think it's maybe textures.com. Whoops. Where, they have 3D textures, and they also have sort of I think you may have to pay for this kind of stuff, but I also might have some things in my my reference library here. Let's see here. I always, every time I bring this up, I'm like, I have to organize this stuff better. But let's see what we have here. This is awesome. I like that. This is perfect. We can even use this for like some photo texturing stuff or something like that. This is all great. And we can use, yeah, this would be great for our background. This is just like some city roofs and stuff. We got some gears. I think that's a dishwasher. This is cool. Glad you enjoyed the mentorship. Yeah, that was really fun. I really like doing the group thing. I would love to. Oh, this is very cool. Yeah, I would love to do that more often. It's always like, you know, a bit of a, you know, it takes a lot of kind of upfront planning and stuff, kind of building up some hype and stuff, and but yeah, I really enjoy doing that. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I think we got about enough here to sort of work with. If you use PureRef at all, which I highly recommend, it's totally free. But what I do is I'll normalize by size usually works, and then I think Command P is to optimize the arrangement. So we have a nice little reference board here. I'm just going to kind of drag this off to the side for now on my other screen. But you know, you guys know it's here. So I want to make sure you have the best view possible of my working area here. So probably I'm just kind of starting with a random canvas here, but for a character, I'm going to do something more like a 4:5 ratio. So we can just do like 4,000 by 5,000, and then I might just scale it down at first, just for the sketch. It doesn't really matter. We can continue with this, but I'll probably drop it to 3,000. And let's pop a new layer on there. And yeah, let's just do a little bit of pose sketching. I might try out a few different ideas. Usually what I'll do for a character is I'll sort of oh, and by the way, here's my other plug here. All the this is actually true. Most, like, somebody asked me the other day on Instagram, they're like, what brushes do you use? And my answer is truthfully like 90% of what I do is with my own brush pack, because I've created it specifically for my own workflow. And like every time I think of an idea, or like a brush that I feel like I really want, or if I see another brush that's kind of inspired me to think of a new idea, I will make it and I'll put it in this pack, and I just update it every time I make some significant changes. So I recently released version 1.5, I believe, which is what I'm using now, and you can check that out from the description as well. So let's just this is just one of the pencil things I have. It's really simple, but I'm gonna kind of just do a bit of gestural stuff, and you can try some like male and female poses here. See what works. And I don't want to go into too much detail at this point. Just kind of want to establish establish the pose and the rhythm and everything. And also just kind of warm up. He's kind of like holding some kind of pistol or something here. And I don't know, the first few ideas are usually kind of throwaway, so I'm just I'll shrink that down, put it over there. I don't know if I'm totally feeling it yet, but we'll just do another one. Just to kind of get the ideas flowing here. Maybe somebody's kind of like a little more hunched. I don't know, sometimes it could be like more of like a tinkerer kind of person, or I don't know. The pose tells a lot about the personality. I'm kind of imagining them holding like a lamp or something. What was the prompt again? Let me just make sure I'm portraying this accurately. Steampunk hero. Yeah, so maybe we don't. I mean, I don't know. You can have kind of a tinker here, but the heroic pose is usually pretty not so hunched, I guess. Welcome, Nick. Welcome, the Ronin. Looks like he's wearing a hoodie. Yeah, that's generally how I start. I start with these very like simplistic shapes, and he could be wearing a hoodie. That's not out of the question here. I like this pose, but it's not seeming super heroic to me. So I'm just gonna keep going here. I'll put you down there. And keep it moving. All right, let's try like more of a lady form here. Maybe she's got like a big something that's kind of slung over her shoulder. Kind of a little bit sassy. Got the hands on the hips here. I kind of like this one already. She's just kind of hanging out, maybe looking over her other shoulder. Kind of like daring people to mess with her. The hands on the hip thing, I feel like can be totally hit or miss. Sometimes it feels natural, and sometimes it feels a bit forced. I'm actually gonna try another version of this. This is all part of the idea generation process. I want to try another version of this where her left, our right arm is just kind of out to the side instead. So just a little bit more casual. Kind of just walking along instead of posing so much. The whole gang, yeah. I think maybe every single person from that group mentorship is here. I'm trying to remember. There are 6 or 7 of us or something. Yeah. I kind of like this a little bit better. It seems a little bit more casual. I do like this one. I think I'm just gonna try a few more ideas, but for the sake of time, we're not gonna go too far into any particular one. I do like this. We can get into a little bit of the design of these other elements too. Maybe there's like some cool clothing stuff going on. All right, let's put that aside for a minute. Um, let's do another one. I don't know. I mean, usually when I'm doing the characters sketches, yeah, this is totally a Harley Quinn one. Actually, yeah, it's funny. I did something very similar for a live stream a while back. This character thing, which in retrospect I don't think was very good, but it was a similar kind of character. She was like, she had like a robot arm, and she was kind of running and looking back. Yeah, I'll fix those legs if we use that one. But let me think here. Let's try a bit. You know, we can do more of a sort of standard heroic pose. Just sort of a bit more. Let's reverse that. Got to remember which hip. That's very important with the character poses, is being sort of deliberate about where the weight is being placed, and I'm just kind of trying to establish that a little bit before, you know, we start messing around with other stuff, because her hip is angled kind of upward on the right side, right? So I'm gonna have that's where the weight is being placed, essentially, and then this other leg is just sort of a bit more supportive. Just gonna shift it a little bit there. I'm not totally sure what to do with this arm. We could do the same kind of thing with the big steampunk rifle or whatever it is, some kind of contraption, being very like a little bit sort of cartoony with the size and the scale of things. But I kind of like this one, actually. It's a little bit more straightforward, but there's some good dynamic to it. It's much better than the first one we did. That's why doing all these iterations can be really important. I'm noticing I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's do one more, and then this may end up being a multiple part thing, as they often end up being these days. But you know, we'll see. I'm trying to work efficiently here. Hardy Fowler is a really great character artist. You should, if you haven't checked him out already, you should check him out. And he did a live stream with Evident a little while ago, and I think it was 2 days, maybe. Yeah, each of them were 2 hours, and he just did this beautiful character in 4 hours, and I don't know, I was pretty impressed by that. We're not going through quite so much time today, but I don't know, it's the character stuff, it's much more time consuming in my experience. But anyway, let's try one more kind of male version of this. What about with giant fists? Sure. We can do kind of like a bulky sort of guy. Sort of like one of those bruiser, kind of like the heavies, as they call them. Being very I usually start out with something much more kind of stylized and exaggerated because it's easy to sort of work back from that than to like introduce those like stylized and exaggerated elements later. Trying to figure out exactly. I'm not so sure about that. Let's take another pass at those legs there. I guess we could just do kind of like a stance, you know. Although he's looking a little puffed up. Just kind of tweak. This is much easier to do on the iPad, the liquefy thing. On Photoshop, the liquefy is like, I feel like it could really be improved. Maybe I want to kind of change the curvature of the spine here, so it's a little bit more. Actually, I kind of like this guy. He has some really big boots or something. I guess you can always use the warp thing. This is an interesting thing I discovered about the Photoshop warp tool recently is if you hold down Command, you can subdivide the warp a little bit. I don't know if it's really that useful actually, but you can mess around with it if you want. Steampunk gauntlets, yeah. Totally. Big old punchers. What do we call this guy? Open to suggestions here. I think maybe we want to have, he's starting to be in more of like an action pose here, so maybe I'll kind of like move the shoulders forward a little bit. Punch them up. Cool. You know what? I think this might be a little bit easier to execute in a short period of time. So let's go with this guy. Just gonna group these, and you know, maybe some other time we can get to those. All right, so the next thing I would do here is sort of just refine the sketch. Try to be a little bit more precise. Start to think about exactly how all these parts are moving together. Kind of start thinking about these different ideas of how everything can be designed a little bit. I've been doing something more recently, which is, I guess, another kind of tip I picked up from from Hardy is spending more time on the designing of things during the sketch phase. And I think what I used to do a lot, and I think this is especially problematic with character work, but what I used to do was sort of just I would rush past the sketch phase and do a lot of my detailing sort of during the painting itself, and I think that's problematic because it's harder to I guess to iterate different ideas with painting because you have so many different variables that you're working with. You have color, you have value, and all this stuff, and you're also working with brushes that are that are a little bit I don't know, I guess sort of less flexible in terms of defining different things, and like being able to draw out an idea effectively is I think really a really valuable way to create a good design. So I'm kind of like going through and thinking about different muscle groups and stuff. Maybe starting to think about how these things can be designed. Maybe they've got something on the side that's like blowing up smoke. You can have some kind of big thing going on. Asymmetry is a really useful tool as well. So we might have like some big shoulder armor thing going on here, and maybe just leave it bare on the other side. I'm not sure. Maybe I want to put that. No, I think that'll be fine. I realize I tend to kind of create like the same sort of armor setup. I'm gonna try to deviate from that a little bit. I also want to pay attention to my references a little bit. Just to make sure that the design is kind of working. I think there's like also this with the steampunk thing, there's also this emphasis on kind of like Victorian era clothing, like in between the more mechanical stuff. So we might, I don't know what that would be, kind of like a for a male, probably like, I don't know, maybe like a high collar or something. I don't know if that's more of like a villain feature, but no, I think heroes can have the high collar as well. So we might have something like that coming up. I think I may just want to slightly remove some of the exaggeration from the stance. Maybe he'll have some pants or something going on here instead of like the utility underwear or whatever all the superheroes have, where they've got just the tight crotch thing going on, and the tighty whities under that. I don't know. Um, we'll just go with some nice pants here. But I'm liking this so far. There's always that. I'll be honest with you. There's always like a phase for me where, during the initial idea generation, where I'll be like, oh, this sketch is looking really good. Like, God, I hope I don't screw it up. You know, like where you and I know a lot of people, like a lot of my students have experienced this too. And I don't know. I think every artist probably experiences this from time to time. But just like, I have a really good idea here, and or even just like an okay idea, and I just don't want to mess it up by developing it further, which is, I think, an important thing to notice and to learn how to move beyond, because obviously you're never going to create anything if you can't move past that, and like and actually develop something and risk ruining it, which, to be fair, like with the digital medium, there's really no risk of ruining it, because you can make backups whenever you want. You can make different layers. You can back up the PSD, which is something I don't do really anymore. But I do that on Procreate, because Procreate saves things automatically when you exit, which is a little irritating. I wish that may be a setting you can change. I haven't looked into that, and also because Procreate limits your layers based on the resolution. So if I want to merge a bunch of layers together, and still have a backup of those layers, I'll usually duplicate the project. It's not so much of a problem on Photoshop, but. Bit of a Thanos vibe, for sure. Well, the gauntlets, yeah, I was thinking of that. And also, yeah, he's kind of like the, brutish character. Brutish, not British. I don't think he's British, no. Yeah, Nick, that's it's something I experience all the time when I have a good idea. There's just that like instantaneous, sort of like reflexive fear of like, yeah, like, if I keep developing this, what if I mess it up? And I guess what I've concluded is I probably will. I mean, with anything I work on, there's always a point where like I'm straying from the idea, or I'm sort of leading it off in a direction that I don't think is working. And that's always okay, because you can, I don't know, I guess eventually you develop a trust. Hopefully you develop a trust with yourself that you can guide it back to a place that is working. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do the folds on these pants, but it's not a super important detail. And that's another thing, is sometimes I'll get like wrapped up in those little like minor details that really aren't super impactful or important for the whole piece, but Yeah, I'm realizing because like I usually do this on Procreate, and I'm realizing I've grown to depend probably too heavily on the liquefy feature there. I think it just, I don't know. There's the risk of getting a little bit lazy with what I'm putting down. Because I don't know, you just kind of think like, oh, I can just fix that with liquefy later, but I don't know. It's better. I think it's always better to get it right the first time if you can, I suppose. And if you can't, you know, you've got these digital tools that are very useful for. I don't want to say correcting mistakes, but let's say guiding things in a better direction. And enhancing your design. You know, I can also use this to sort of increase the stylization a little bit. And whoa, I just completely destroyed his leg. Let's try that again. All right. Yeah, I want to have him with a little bit of a more solid stance here. So we're just going to widen things out. Let's see. And then you can always, with this, you can do it, you can undo it, see if that was an improvement. And I think for sure that was an improvement. I lost some of the perspective on the chest thing, so I was just trying to get some of that back. Maybe I want to tilt the hips a little bit. That's always a little bit more of a stable pose, or I don't know. You know, the art term is the contrapposto, like David. You know, Michelangelo's David. He has the skewed hips, which I don't know. It's usually a bit more of a natural looking pose, even if it's just sort of a subtle shift. I don't know if it's totally working in this case. I think I might be over tweaking it a little bit, which is totally something that can happen. You can always look at it upside down. That can help to show maybe what isn't working so well. That is probably good enough for now. So let's move on to, I think usually I would do another more detailed sketch here. Like I said, I think generally it's better to do a bit more designing at this phase. Maybe we'll just do one more sketch pass, because I'd say if anything today, I do want to get a nice sketch down. I feel like if you can do that, the rest of the painting falls into place pretty easily. So just going to do one more pass. Sometimes I'll do an inking pass with this if I really want to be, you know, if I really want to be precise, but that does tend to take a little bit longer. So I don't think we're gonna do that today per se, but I might go in and just be a bit less sketchy with my my movements here. We'll start incorporating some, I don't know, like rivets and stuff. Little like steampunk elements. Kind of like this idea of having some mechanical element here. Trying to be, again, trying to be less sketchy with it. For some reason, that's a little bit tougher for me with the Wacom tablet. I still don't know exactly how you're supposed to say that, but it's definitely a little bit easier for me to do the line work on the iPad. Generally. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Jace from Arcane. I don't know who that is. I'll have to Google that. Nice. Yeah, we can start. Could probably start designing the background a little bit too after this. I think generally with the character stuff, I do spend less time in the background. Usually, I'll just throw a few photo elements in there and kind of just, you know, photo bash a little bit, you know, blur it out, do some rough painting. It's amazing what you don't need to do with the background once you've established strong focus with the character, but sometimes it can be cool to do a little more of a detailed thing. Let's start throwing some gears and stuff in here. Maybe his whole, this could be cool, maybe his whole right arm is just sort of like a mechanical thing. That's my best attempt at an oval there. I'm going to kind of design the machinery a little bit to match what the musculature would have looked like a little bit. And I'm checking out my references over here to get a bit of inspiration. He's got the steampunk arm. I guess so does she. Seems to be a pretty popular idea. I'm just gonna pull this over here. There's a lot of chains and levers and hydraulics and stuff. And that's all pretty fun. A lot of cylinders. A lot of exhaust. Which, like, I think later we could do some photo texturing and stuff here to sort of quickly establish some of these mechanical elements. But I'm just, even now, just sort of narrowing in on the design. And of course, the hands continue to be the bane of my existence. I'm always telling myself I'm going to take a solid month and just do nothing but hands and just rid myself of the curse forever. But I have not done this yet. So it continues to be an occasional source of frustration for me. Nothing wild, but hands are an artist's bane of existence, yeah. Yep, second only perhaps to faces. Although I'd almost say I'm more comfortable with faces at this point than the hands. I don't know, hard to say. Sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't as much. It'll depend a lot on the pose and all that stuff. just want to make sure this is all kind of fitting into everything here. Let's actually switch this to layer 7. This is the problem with the Photoshop liquify, is it's like you have to all these set, like, just to be able to show the rest of the thing. There are all these options here, and maybe I just am I'm not totally understanding how it works. That's very possible. I'm just using the smudge for right now, but I don't really like that. But yeah, it's a little bit unwieldy, I would say. It's something I like to do occasionally when I want to get the right angle on a line. Is do the rotate. I believe that's, I have it set to R. I believe that's the default. Maybe there's some kind of power source or something on his chest here. I think we'll do a mask or something too. Kind of want to save. Well, because it's already kind of there, and also because, yeah, I want to save a bit of time here. So we can design a cool things, probably like a monocle. I feel like there's always a monocle with the steampunk stuff. And then like a slit on the other side. I don't know. We could spend a little bit of time devising different helmet ideas. This is looking a little bit villainous. We do want this to be a hero, but he can be like a anti-hero or something. Kind of Iron Man like. I don't know, just sort of messing around with some stuff. If I really wanted to explore this, I'd probably take it off to the side and do a few different variations here. Let's just stick with the circle for now. Maybe the two of them like that. Do a whole helmet. Maybe he's got like a gas mask kind of thing. It's kind of spooky, actually. I don't know if I like that. It's looking a little bit... And this is like, this is all about the shape language being used here. Do a smaller one, make him look a little bit more friendly, I guess. Of course, he's got to have some tubes and stuff, some exhaust vents, something like that. It could just be like a mask too. Maybe we can have the rest of the features kind of poking out here. Kind of thinking of like a welder's helmet, you know, the thing that like comes down. Maybe we'll do something more like that. Have some exhaust vents in the front. Can even have some hair or something. We'll give him an ear. Oh, that is a freakish ear. Let me try it again. Yeah, we'll give him some hair coming out here and there. Maybe there's like a light on the front. That would be kind of cool. What are we at? 106. Hey, ballpoint. Cool name, like a pen. I'm gonna take a quick, let's say 2-minute break here. Stretch out my hand and move the body. I highly recommend to all of you. I try to do that like once an hour. So I'm just gonna step out for a couple minutes here. The rest of you, feel free to grab a drink or some tea or whatever it is you enjoy. Do some jumping jacks. I'll probably do that. And I'll be back in just a minute here. All right. We are back here. I got my jumping jacks in. Turn the AC on too. If that's if that's super loud, let me know. But it is getting a little bit toasty in here. Oh, cool. That's a cool name for a cool way to start a project. I wish I had a name like that. Still working on I don't know. I'm trying to think of some better names for my my art business. I don't know. It's like your name dot art is a little bit overdone. I also don't have like a very I don't know, digestible name. I guess it's kind of hard to articulate, and like every time like I meet someone and they're like, oh, you know, where can I find you on Instagram? And I'm like, oh cool, it's are you ready? It's eben.schumacher.art. And they're like, great, how do you spell that? And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin there. So I don't know if anyone has any ideas. I've experimented with a couple things, like maybe like, you know, Schumacher Studios, or I don't know, that's usually taken, or like I don't know, something that stands out a little bit more. But anyway, for now it's just me, my name. So I'm gonna kind of zoom through the rest of this sketch a little bit, so I want to get into some painting during the second hour. I'm not really sure what to do with his midriff here. We could just give him a crazy six-pack. That is an option. We could give him, I don't know, more like Steam stuff. I guess we could have like some kind of, I'm looking at this guy over here. Maybe have some like coils and tubes going around. He could have some tubes. I don't know. Coils and tubes. There's ways to get the steam around. Maybe I'll just give him a six-pack, though. You know? I don't do that often enough. We'll see. I'm gonna come back to that. We're gonna resolve that. This is me being lazy about the design right now. We're gonna come back to that when I have more ideas. For now, it's just kind of a space between his belt and his chest thing, whatever that is. He's got his pants. I'm having his fist overlap this now, so there's no tangent. He's got some sweet boots. He's got some bunching at the pants here. Okay. Let's just do a little quick floor there. Still pretty rough, but let's keep it moving. Let's just keep this going. Speed art. And let's do a little quick liquefy, see if there's anything I want to tweak. As far as the pose and everything. Being super rough with this, but sometimes you kind of have to. It'll be a little rough with the lines. Beat them into shape. That's a little bit better. All right, let's move this over here, and let's do a quick silhouette. It's always a pretty good place to start. Let's go to the inker. Actually, sometimes a great way to do this is set the sketch layer on multiply. I'm just going to use a slightly brighter color. That'll kind of help to see through whatever you're putting on underneath. Being very, very speedy, or as speedy as I can here. It's kind of good to, I don't know if you guys do this. I used to do this a lot more, and I should start doing it again. Just the speed painting thing. Especially with, I can never do it very well with like character stuff, but with you know, with landscapes and that kind of thing. And I don't know, just to like get ideas down quickly. You know, you set a timer and everything, and you know, you just try to wrap up a piece within like 30 minutes or an hour maybe, or even like 10 minutes, you know, seeing what you can do in that time. Just doing that over and over again is just a really great way to get a better understanding of what's important in the piece and what you should be spending the majority of your time on, which is usually just the design and the composition, and not necessarily like all those little details that can easily suck you in. Like I said, I have a lot harder of a time with that with the character stuff, but I think I'm gonna get back into that. It's gonna kind of hollow out some places where you're kind of seeing through. Cool. It's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that so far. Let's just set up a pretty quick background here. I've been imagining like this sort of sepia reddish hazy thing. So let's do something like that. Not sure which way I like it better. Yeah, maybe something more like that. And we can do kind of like a quick, I don't know, just a quick pass at some smoky stuff and just a little hint of perspective. Just to get like some baseline texture going on there. Switch it to a cooler color here and there. Establish that for the ground as well. Maybe we can even suggest some sort of city elements, stuff like that happening in the background. Yeah, we can just have that as kind of a placeholder, and actually I might even just sort of do a quick like we can come back to this later, but we just kind of blur it up for a minute so we can focus on the character. Alright, yeah, let's get back to this guy. Let's darken up the silhouette a little bit. We'll think about our light source a little bit here. I usually go with sort of some kind of 3/4 fill light and then some other rim light. Usually like something, probably something a bit cool for the fill light, but we'll see. I'm just gonna set this on another layer underneath our sketch. And we also don't, I mean, like the steampunk thing, we don't have to be too I made these modeling brushes, by the way, just for this purpose, for like kind of slowly building up some stuff. Just kind of generally figuring out where the lighting is, establishing some base color. I made one with with texture and one without texture. And what I like to do is just kind of slowly build and establish where the light source is. Right now I'm imagining something coming from the top right, and I'm actually gonna dull this down a little bit. I don't want it to be too warm. Or maybe a combination of both, you know, with the rust and that kind of stuff. I've knocked the opacity down to about 50%, which is something else I've been experimenting with recently. It's this kind of slow build of the lighting with opacity versus color choice per se. I'm kind of just using the same color to describe everything. Normally I would kind of divide things up a little bit into different materials, and I might still do that anyway, but I'm kind of just going for like a baseline value sketch here. And as we go, we can knock down the opacity of this sketch a little bit. So we're more and more just painting into it and less following the sketch. I might start to introduce some flesh tones a little bit into the skin here and there. I notice I didn't really do anything for the collar, so we'll have to kind of make that up at a certain point. Probably introduce some skin here and there. Also start carving out some shadows where we know there's not going to be a lot of light. And I actually will probably switch fairly soon from painting under the sketch to painting over it. Let's do that now. One thing that's kind of a fun way to build up a metal is using color dodge. It tends to sort of build on what's already there. Kind of creates these little bursts of highlight in certain areas. you can easily sort of overdo it, but you know, it's a kind of a nice effect. Let's go up here and give this guy some nice shininess. And the color dodge, it kind of interacts with the colors underneath and can actually help to create quite a bit of variety. But again, we don't want to overdo it. All right, I'm going to keep creating layers over this. Let's do some skin tones here. Probably use a smooth modeling for this. I continue to knock back that sketch layer a little bit. Not that one. Where is it? This one. Actually, I may just try to work over it a little bit. It's just that hard outline is sort of bothering me. Maybe we can add, I don't know, this arm is kind of a little bit boring. We might want to add some other kind of features here. Maybe he's got like a tattoo or something. Let's try that out. Set something on multiply. Give him like a... I don't know. Some kind of thing here. I'm not really sure what that is, but you know, it's like something. Yeah, totally. Let's actually we can do like a little gear thing. He's like part of the gear boys or whatever. Of course, I'm really kind of butchering it, but gear boys. Something like that. I love mom, yeah. Let's set this to something a bit more. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know. Like a white tattoo. Interesting. I kind of like that. What was that? Divide? I never used that, but I guess it's like, it just kind of creates the opposite of what's there. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's give this arm a bit of highlighting here. Getting kind of sucked into this arm here, but let's see, I'm gonna get rid of that. Actually, let's do another layer just for the heck of it. Let's see if we can throw some photos in here. That could be interesting. What do we got? We got this thing. That's kind of cool. What if we took this and set that to darken or something? Just flip it. Add a little bit of complexity there. That's kind of cool. Let's just use that a couple times. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this is perfect. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Set that to... That's kind of cool. We can just do normal, actually. And let's just... or maybe... Overlay soft light. Hard light's usually a good bet. You just have to desaturate it a little bit. And probably lighten up the shadows. Let's try that. And mask it up. Invert the mask. Paint that in. Yeah, that's nice. Just tweak it a little bit. Let's use that again. Might as well. Maybe it doesn't work so much here, but yeah, it's not gonna work. But we got that. I think once again, just bring up those shadows a little bit. You can bring some of that saturation back. Alright, let's focus on the face for a minute here, because that's our focal point. We want that to be well developed. Do some like scratches and stuff. It's always pretty fun. Here's something interesting we can try. I'm actually going to... I'm just going to take all of this, copy it, merge it down, and you can see we have some white stuff here to deal with, but we can just get rid of that. And then I want to... wonder if I can do this. Something like that. And then add... That didn't really work, did it? Let's just subtract these. gonna try something big and textured here. Put this on color dodge. Getting there. Can't remember exactly what I was doing with this shoulder thing. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, maybe all of this is a little bit too close to the tone of everything else. Might just tweak that a little bit. Maybe desaturate it. I don't know, he's got weird yellow skin. I don't know about that. Let's try that again. I'll just desaturate it a little bit. Maybe shift towards... something like that. Try something really, I'll try a little shortcut here, see if this works. Here, let's do this. It kind of works, kind of didn't. Alright, let's not do that. There are simpler ways to go about this. As I've said many times before, this is the part of the stream where I become very quiet and try to figure out how I'm going to finish this. And you know, we can get it. It's like a pretty good starting point, I'd say, for today. I mean, you could conceivably call this a completed sketch. We've added in some enough elements to kind of define what's going on here a little bit. I would usually save this for the end, but just because it'll make things look a bit nicer, we can throw in a bit of rim light in here. Maybe since we've used sort of a warmish fill light, we can, let's set this on linear dodge, set our brush on linear dodge, go in here, make some of this stuff. Oh, I forgot all about this collar thing. Give him some spiky hair or something. I think maybe it's the shape of the shoulder that's bugging me out here. This arm. Let's just... yeah, that's a bit more realistic, I'd say. Of course, it's all... I made it all lumpy. Let's fix that. I think maybe I'll be able to... let's just do some quick stuff here, so that maybe from a distance it can look a bit more complete. I'm gonna take this, fill that in, maybe give it some of that bounce light, and I think just these, all this stuff. Here, let's do a cool little textural thing. Little shortcuts. have some kind of, I don't know, ripply, I guess they're like pipes or tubes or something. I can't remember what we agreed upon there. Sometimes all it takes is just like a suggestion of detail. I do really like this brush. I added it to the pack just recently. I've really been enjoying it. Definitely overusing it here, but I'm not super concerned about it. Oh, and we can't forget the steam either. It would not be steampunk without the steam. Let's do this. Let's do a quick boot thing. Thank you. I'm glad you think it looks good. I think it's shaping up pretty good myself. It's kind of interesting seeing like what techniques I can resort to expedite the process. Again, like this is the advantage of working like this, is you learn how to move things along a bit more quickly, I guess. I don't even know where this color came from, but kind of works. It's got red boots. I don't want to have a bunch of red down there. Let's just go with the classic color here. Kind of want to get rid of some of this really dark space around the edges. Give them a little. I always like throwing in some of the subsurface scattering on the ear. So just like a little touch of red there. Can look really nice. Can also help draw attention to the face, which is Just what we want. All right, let's horror vibe. Yeah, I know he's not so much of a hero now. He looks like who's that guy that goes around murdering people in a hockey mask? You know, looks like that guy, which is yeah, was not. You know, hey, we you know, you got to be open to the creative possibilities that present themselves, and I think that's exactly what I did. So, no regrets here. Yeah, let's do some final touches here. I'm gonna do a little shadow, just one stroke, and then let's blur it. Maybe set that to multiply, knock it down a little bit. Let's do, I want to do a little more of that. This lighting. Let's just do a little bit more of some of that blue that I like so much. Put that down here. Let's just merge all this together, and I want to do another liquefy pass just to correct any weirdness that may have come up with the pose, anything like that. Better or worse? I don't know. Maybe that didn't improve anything. But let's let's throw in a little bit of steam here. I'm actually just gonna use a mixer brush on the layer behind. A little bit of dramatic stuff happening here. And we want That's kind of cool. And then I think maybe one of the last things I'd like to do is just a little value correction here, or I'm just going to actually duplicate this, drop down the value, and we'll mask that out. That's just a convenient way to hide the fact that I did not detail the bottom very much. But we can also tweak the color a bit here so that it's a bit more dynamic. All right, well, yeah, Jason has the guy. All right, well, yeah, we made Steampunk Jason. Actually, wait, there's one more thing I want to do here. There's always one more thing, but let me just. I want to just do some rivets and stuff. Just little accents here and there. Just kind of bring the whole thing together. I don't know. All right. I think that I'm gonna wrap that up for today. So, you know, a little rough. I don't know. Pretty cool, I guess. Great idea, Sabrina. I really love the idea. I didn't quite get around to doing the steampunk city behind him, but maybe, you know, maybe I'll pick this up later and just, you know, push out the detail a little bit. Obviously, we could clean up the edges here a little bit more, which, you know, I can do real quick right now, actually, probably. But other than that, I think this will be it for this particular stream. Thank you guys for I'm talking myself out as I'm continuing to work on this. I just can't stand all these lines around here. Okay. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you all coming out and watching this. If you're new here, once again, subscribe to the channel. Check out any of the other stuff I have in the links, including the Discord channel, which is a really fun place to just kind of hang out and talk art stuff. And yeah, what else? If I don't know if you're interested in learning or doing some one-on-one work, you can check out my mentorship program, and I also have some tutorials available on my website that you can check out from the links below. And yeah, hope to see you guys here again, and keep an eye out for future videos that I send out, you know, as often as I can. And yeah.